Hello, Professor Mueller and TAs. This is my submission for Lab 2B, where I study and observe the K-means clustering and multidimensional scaling. So in this experiment, we look at the following plots here, wherein we look at the MDS Euclidean plots that are clustered via the K-means clustering, followed by plotting the MDS plot for all the variables via the one correlation metric. Finally, I have plotted or visualized the data in a parallel coordinates plot, uh, in which the dimensions of the data to understand which dimensions of the data are actually closely similar to each other. So let's begin. So first, I have plotted the multi-dimensional scaling with using the Euclidean distance metric. If the user clicks on the MDS data plot, a scatter plot is plotted which shows the sample data points in a 2D space. The same size of this plot was taken as small as the computation time for the MDS data plot calculation was very high. K-means clustering is used for clustering the points and coloring them. Moreover, a prime observation that I came across during the implementation of MDS was that the MDS data plot took a lot of computation time for 35 plus 100 records. Hence, I used random sampling for reducing the number of data points. Also, I could also see that sometimes the correlation function returns NANs if the sample size for calculating the correlation between features is too small. Therefore, taking a relatively big sample size actually helped here. So this was about the MDS Euclidean scatter plot. So now when the user selects to plot a MDS variable plot, a scatter plot is plotted showing the exact number of points as the features or attributes in the data set. So my credit card data set consisted of 17 features. So there are 17 distinct points in this scatter plot. Each point has a feature or a dimension name associated for it. For example, if I see at this point, it represents the feature minimum payments. This point represents the feature PRC full payment. This point represents the feature payments and so on. So this feature plot also has the feature that if the user selects the points on the plot, the increase in size and the order of the selection is then used to plot PCP for those points selected for maintaining the order. That feature is something that we will look into the coming video. So from the MDS correlation plot, it can be observed that the features of cash advance frequency and cash advance transactions are closely correlated with each others. This can be attributed to the fact that the more the number of advance transactions, the more will be the frequency of the transactions. In a similar fashion, the attributes one of purchases and one of purchases frequency are also correlated. Moreover, purchases installment frequency and installment purchases are also closely related in a similar fashion. This is about the MDS correlation scatter plot. Next, if the user selects to plot a parallel coordinates plot, a PCP is plotted showing a mix of both numerical and categorical attributes in different movable axes. Because my attribute names or feature names were quite long, I have actually specified the abbreviated versions of the same, and I've specified what abbreviated version actually refers to what feature name. The user can then manually reorder the axis for the different features by selecting the attributes from the drop-down list in this fashion, and by hitting the draw and then hitting this button, so automatically the axis would be swapped. At the same time, the operation will also impact the current ordering of attributes here as shown. For instance, I had swapped cash advance and balance, so these got swapped and the ordering got updated here. Let me select two other attributes. For instance, I select minimum payments as the first attribute and the second attribute as credit card limit. And when I hit drop, so the axis gets changed and the ordering also gets changed here. So the current ordering of the attributes is shown. So this ordering of attributes changes as the axes are swapped. To reset back to the original plot, I simply need to click here on to reset back to the original plot. So the clustering performed here is using k-means clustering, and that can be achieved using the clustering options as shown here. This is the k-means clustering, and this is the non-clustered version. To end, I would like to display how ordering of the order of the axis in the PCP plot can be changed by selecting attributes in the correlation scatter plot. Now I've selected 1, 2, 3. So this is the axis that I've selected, and based on that, the PCP plot axis have changed. Now I will select some other set of attributes: 1, 2, 3, 4. So now again, the ordering of the attributes has changed, and the attribute ordering is the same that I have selected here. So this is my complete submission. Thank you.